Here's one of our removal trucks here. This is a seals truck just pulling in. Conveyancing and removals really do go hand in glove. You've put your house on the market, you get the offer. It's the offer you want, you accept the offer. Getting the offer enables you to make the offer on your new place, and that offer gets accepted. And at that point, the process really starts in earnest. So you're a seller and you're also a buyer. So there's a lot of work that lawyers are doing on your behalf to sell your house, and there's also a lot of work that your lawyers are doing on your behalf to enable you to buy your new place. Your buyers have to be happy and satisfied with it, that everything is in order for the house that you're selling them, and as buyers, the house that you're buying, you have to be happy and your solicitor has to be happy that the place you're going to is okay to buy, and they're happy to advise you to press on with the purchase. When people talk about moving house being stressful or frustrating or difficult or emotional, it's typically not the moving things from A to B that is any of those things. It's the lead up to it. And I think solicitors get a bad rap at this point. So solicitors aren't going slow because solicitors want to go slow. Solicitors are going slow because the process is slow. Some chains can be 7 or 8 kind of parties long. And to link all of those transactions together takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. So it can be frustrating, but it is what it is, and you will always get there, and it will always happen eventually. Sometimes you just have to be dragged along by the process and not kick and scream too much. And if you get a question, answer it. If you've got an email to reply to it. If you've got to provide some information, provide it. Do all your bit and let the solicitors up and down the chain do their bit. So you've got all of these things going on, and people don't sometimes even think about movers and removal companies, because actually you get so drawn into the conveyancing process that the actual moving of things is often secondary or not even on the agenda. But really, we want to be having conversations with you a couple of months before you expect to move. And at that point, usually we would arrange for one of our guys to visit you, and we call that a pre-move survey. So we visit you, we come and have a look what's to be moved, we talk about the various kind of services we have available, and we can tailor each move to suit you and your family. Sort of 6 or 8 weeks beforehand, we've been to visit you, we've provided you with a fixed price quotation, so we've established exactly what you need and exactly how you want to be moved. And really at that point, if we're going to do all the packing for you, there's nothing really else to do. If you're going to pack yourself, then you really want to be talking to us about getting boxes and materials delivered so you can get started with the packing. And a real kind of important point here is if you are packing yourself, it's going to take a lot longer than you expect it to take. We always advise to sort of have a clear out and declutter before we come. It's pointless us packing things that you're then going to throw away once we've moved them. Whilst we're having these conversations, your conveyancing is going on in the background. There's 2 key points to work to during the conveyancing process. The first key point, and it's the most important part of the process, is getting to the point of exchange of contracts. So you're legally committing to sell your house, and you're legally committing to buy the place you're going to. And that commitment happens simultaneously. At that point, everyone is nailed on. Once you've exchanged, it's almost impossible to fall through without it costing somebody a lot of money. Typically, you exchange contracts and then there's a gap, and then we get to what's called completion day. Completion day is move day. So completion day is the day that you stop owning your current place and start owning your new place. What that usually means is that you have an obligation to give vacant possession of your existing place between 12 noon and 2 p.m. on completion day, and you'll usually gain access to your new place at around 2 or 3 o'clock. So we're working back from that point. The really key point here, even if you're moving around the corner a couple of streets away, you need to have everything loaded from your current place in a truck. So it needs to be on wheels, only for a very small amount of time, because during that day there's a very small period of time where you've stopped owning your current house and you don't yet own your new house. So you can't do what sometimes people call a shuttle, where you get a small van and you run things between the properties. That can't happen when you're selling a house and buying a house because of the contractual obligations that you've signed up to when you exchange contracts. So we're working back from this middle part of the day to get everything loaded on a truck. We then very often have a bit of a lag, a bit of downtime during the day, which we're waiting then for it to go through, is the phrase. So, and that usually means we're waiting for the money just to go through the system. When that money is received, usually the key is then released. So sometimes there are then delays of getting into your new place, and we're fully aware of that. And so sometimes we'll be suggesting that we only deliver partial or do a partial delivery on completion day and complete the main delivery the day after. There's less and less moves that are a one-day move nowadays because of this process and because of the potential lag in the middle of the day. So you can see why the removals and removal companies are very important and very integral to the conveyancing process. Sometimes it sort of gets a little bit lost in translation about what actually happens on moving day. That's why it's really important to talk to us, because we're really familiar with it. We can help you through it, we can advise you through it, and we can turn it from a potentially stressful experience to a pleasant and enjoyable experience.